All right, welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show, and we are here on this loud and clapping Monday. A little snow
Yes, I'm so
outside in the state of
man.
Ohio, Schlegs. How about
Oh
that?
yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, Bobby.
I'm listening.
Okay, Bob,
Hey,
I
Bobby, listen,
apologize.
and then you got
No, it
a
was my
stroke.
Duma Jake. I had so much snare in my headphones from the podcast of the chat room to us. But I'm gonna tell you this: nothing can either get you excited or also bring you down than the first snow to a family that just uprooted and moved to the great state of Ohio from the state of Florida. And when
What do they call? What do they call Florida? Schlegs, the snowy state or the
oh
sunshine
my
state?
gosh, the snowbirds that go down there to escape it, but yet they came back and they're like, where did who go? And why are we here? It was an amazing morning. I'm like, break out the coats, boys and girls. It's getting cold. And
Get
but
those
then I was like,
rocky
hey, it's
boots,
also
like
cold
get
in
those
Texas.
little rocky rubber boots. Get those things going for the
The
snow.
extra tough, the
They're
extra
extra
tough,
tough, yeah.
the fleece liner. Yeah, they got to go to their winter Crocs now. I'm sorry, you got to go to the winter Crocs.
The winter croc. What I mean, what kind of crap is that? The winter croc.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I know it is, but it's like kind of serious. It might be a
Yeah.
joke, but it's also grounded in some level of reality with all of it. Well, I'm sorry that your kids, so they weren't very excited, is what you're telling me.
No, Sam was like, "Oh man, I need gloves." I'm like, "Yeah, they're at the farm. You can wait. I got recess. Tough. Buckle up, Buttercup. Go into your hand.
I got recess.
Go into your hands. Keep them in your pocket. Like, what are we talking about?
Keep them in your pocket. The problem is, Schlegs, it's a little slick outside.
It is.
And if you keep your hands in your pockets and you go to fall, you can't get your hands out to get a balanced touch in. So you're just going to eat the ground with the shoulder or
That's
maybe
okay.
even
Strengthen up that shoulder girdle.
how about your beak? You just maybe fall face forward.
That's why we do neck training, Bob. I have an answer for
that. That is, it's good for your neck, but it might not protect your teeth and your nose. So like that's the problem. Your nose and mouth will break your fall on the way to the ground.
It's for mouth guards.
Hey Sam, put your mouth guard in.
Put your mouth guard in. Keep your hands in your pocket. Put your mouth guard in. You're good. Don't worry about it.
That might be the greatest. That might be the greatest line that I've ever heard.
That's Sam, how you do it, Bob. You know how it is. There's always a way. There's always a way. What are you talking about? Just put your mouth guard in. What? Exactly.
That's school.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Hey, clear communication so you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances.
That is all is very true. How did you consume the game on Saturday?
Oh man, I consumed the majority of it. Again, 1:00 start, the rut's going down. I was watching it the second half from a tree stand. So that was great, making side notes on my deal while also looking, just being very, very.
So let me ask you. So you'll be on your phone. You have your your AirPods in, like listening and watching.
Subtitles.
The subtitles of the game.
Yeah. Plus, I don't need audio. I just watch. Like I watch what's going on, and just like everybody else, like I see the good, I see the bad. I make a little side note. Here's the best part. As the game progressed, right, I screenshotted things that people were like, oh, it's 34-10, whatever. Guys, with 6 minutes and 19 seconds, okay, Ohio State had given up 134 yards. They owned the time of possession 39 to 14, basically. Okay, Purdue on the last drive had 6 first downs. Things of that nature. Like, remember in the chat last week, Bob, we were talking about, what about all the guys getting live bullets? We played like 8 different offensive linemen, 4 different running backs, 5 different tight ends, 5 different wide receivers, all these different things. People were getting reps in that game on both sides of the football. So you did exactly what you wanted to do in that atmosphere at Purdue, knowing who they were. 2-6, I believe, going into that game. Terrible in the conference. And you handle it efficiently. And where there's some mistakes, 100%, there's also some really, really good plays. But that's how I think about the game. And at the end, you still won the time possession 41-19, man. And yet you gave up the late touchdown. We didn't like that. You didn't cover the spread. Everybody was kind of pissed off probably about that. But You did what you needed to do. The best part about the entire game to me was the 2-minute drive at the end of the first half. We wanted to work on it. It presented an opportunity to do so, and we executed. That's a win. That's what Ryan Day wants to see.
It was. And that, when you talk about positives and things that came out of the game, that was one of the ones that, you know what, did you need it in that game? Probably not. It wasn't a big deal. You were going to win that game regardless. But there will be games where you're going to need a 2-minute drive, whether it's before the half or at the end of the game. He always talks about winning the middle 8, and that's part of the middle 8, obviously in that scenario. But driving down and being able to let your young quarterback go through all of the different iterations of things that happen in 2-minute situations. And, you know, even with that, you know, part of it is, as a quarterback, you're really graded on 3 things. It's how do you handle these situations? 2-minute offense, red zone offense, and third down offense. Like, those are the 3 things that are really hard. And those are the things that separate it. Tony Romo used to tell me, anybody can drop back on first down and throw a quick game. Anybody can throw play action on first and second down. Tell me when it's 3rd and 8, how do you operate? When it's a 2-minute situation, how do you operate? Or when you're in the red zone and all the windows are condensed and everybody's on top of you. And so getting a chance to see that and getting Julian to be able to work through that, the receivers to work through that, I thought that was a big deal. A lot of different guys played, like you mentioned. We'll kind of get into that and start talking about it a little bit as we went on. But you mentioned, I mean, the offense, like, they had the ball for nearly 41 minutes of the game.
Yep.
And, you know, they're trying to limit plays. The offense, I think, ran like in the mid-70s because they just had the ball the whole time. Gosh, what were they on defense on third down? It was something.
Purdue was 3 of 9.
Purdue was 3 of 9. I was thinking what Ohio State ultimately was.
9 of 13.
9 of 13, which is obviously very good. I mean, that's almost 75, you know, hovering around 75% right there, low, just underneath. So a great situation right there that they were able to kind of take care of business and get done what they needed to get done, while still getting guys a lot of other reps.
Yep.
And so we can start with the defense. I mean, you saw Arvell Reese out pretty early. Riley Pettijohn got in there pretty quickly. Peyton Pierce played a lot. I know we had Sonny. Sonny was in there, but you got a chance to see a lot of those young guys. And we've talked about this. People were saying Riley Pettijohn needs to play. I'm like, absolutely. He's going to have to be out there next year, and you want to get him reps. Heaven forbid, like, he may have to be in there this year. So you want to get him reps to be able to work through that. Like, I think Peyton Pierce you've established as a guy that can go out and be a dude. Like, not a big deal. But you want to get some of the young defensive backs in there. You want to try to work on some of those other elements. And I thought that they did a pretty good job for the most part, but getting a guy like Zion Grady, a defensive end, who is really physically gifted, I think can be really good, but just needs reps. Just ultimately needs those reps. You know, Bryce West, getting him in there, getting those reps. Incredibly athletic kid, smart young man, but needs to get more experience. So I thought they did a really good job of getting guys in early in this game, Schlegs. And we'll talk about the offense in a minute, but just with on the defensive side, getting that rotation in there and getting these guys to experience a little bit of what's going on. And people are like, well, you know, we talked in the chat on Friday, why don't some of these other guys play more? Well, they get a lot of work and practice, and that matters. But this was a situation where they saw pretty early on you were going to be able to get guys out there and let them work and see how they handle a live game situation.
I think it goes back to everybody talks about, we'll get to the offensive side of the ball, but this is complementary football. You want sustained drives. The offense helps the defense because they were able to own the ball for almost 41 minutes of the entire football game. I didn't put this down. These were the little notes as we were going through the game.
Give us the nuggets, Schlegs. Give us some
nuggets.
But
like the first quarter, guys, it was Purdue punt, OSU punt, Purdue field goal. Then OSU touchdown. That was 5. I'm just going through the time here. OSU touchdown, 75 yards, 5 minutes. Purdue punt. OSU touchdown, 89 yards, 5:44. Purdue interception, Jermaine Matthews. That was off the deflection by Caleb Downs. OSU touchdown, 5:21. Purdue punt. Okay, then you had the 2-minute situation. OSU's 24-3 at the halftime. Then you go down. OSU interception on the goal line. But that's still thing right there.
We'll get to
that was 15.
That might be the worst.
I know, we'll get there, but that was 8:34. 8:34 Purdue punt. One possession each of that quarter. Then they get a field goal, 6-minute drive. Punt, Purdue punt. OSU touchdown, 5:22. Then Purdue had the touchdown at the end of the game for 4 minutes, 34. In the game, that was the game, guys. So complementary football, the running game, I'll get there. But what I'm saying is that's why the defense can have success. That's why the defense can only give up, 186 total yards. Remember, going into that last drive, that's why I took the screenshot of it. It was 61 yards of rushing. They got 31 yards of rushing on the last drive. So again, is that the standard that you want? You're still under 13 points, but those guys are going to be watching the film. We could be better. That's always be coaching. And that's what they took away from it. Because what were they not good on in their last drive? They weren't good on first and second down. Those guys were getting 8 yards, right, on first down, which they didn't have any more third down efficiency going into the last drive of the game because they were having success on first and second down with predominantly all of the backups in. More things to work on. You need the live bullets. They accomplished everything that they wanted to accomplish in that game from a team perspective.
Thought it was great complimentary football. You would have liked it, Schlegs. Like you said, 34-3 feels a little bit better. You get a 31-point victory and you get the full cover on everything. Purdue getting the touchdown at the end, obviously a little bit ugly, a little bit gross. Doesn't feel good with that situation. But overall, defensively, with the young guys in there, I didn't think it was bad. I thought that was some learning experience. And that's the thing. You've got to win. We talk about third down defense being critical, and it is. But you have to be able to get to those situations on third down where you're sitting there in a 3rd and 5+, because that's where you can begin to dictate tempo to the offense of what's going to happen. Absolutely. So good deal there, Schlegs. I appreciate it. We're going to get in because next I want to talk, Schlegs, about some of the offensive changes that we had out there. There's a number of guys that played or didn't play, and how that looked, why that's happening. Was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? Or is it just a thing? I don't know. We'll have to figure all that out. But we got all that here coming up next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. First, we got a message from our friends at FanDuel. It's NBA tip-off week. FanDuel, they're home for live betting. So even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel, they got live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay, an SGP, for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join because FanDuel, they're giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 older and present in Ohio and 21 older and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. More of the Bobby Carpenter Show coming up next. Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show, Schlegs. Got a lot of stuff going on. Offensive rotation. Saw a lot of different guys play from the offensive line to receiver, working even Lincoln in at quarterback. A little bit there, full rotation in the running back room. What were your takeaways from that as to maybe why the rotations were and looked as they looked and possibly, Schlegs, good thing, bad thing? I mean, I know we had maybe some injuries, precaution. I get that. Just kind of your takeaways from seeing all of it.
Yeah, just in the group chat first. TE 2013 just lost his dad yesterday, so thoughts and prayers with him and his family. Buckeye rotation. Right now, you had early on, it's so funny. It's like, where's the running game? What are we doing? Well, they just had a 70-yarder that got called back from a block in the back. And yes, it was kind of a block in the back by Jeremiah Smith. And I'm never going to discredit his effort on that play.
Well, that was his worst play. That's his worst play of the game. I mean, that's his worst play of the game. He knows his change of speed loaf. It's out there. Schlegs, he's a great player. Yeah. He's not above reproach. I guarantee you it's a great teachable moment because he plays really hard.
He does.
First play of the game, you probably don't think your running back's going to pop it. And he probably didn't even need to do it. But if he was inside of his position a little bit more, maybe done a little better on inside the corner, then he would have been okay. But,
yep.
It's a great learning moment. It rips back a 70-yard touchdown from Bo Jackson.
And, if you go back and look like Bo's day, so I think they gave him like 1st and 7 after that, right? Spot of the foul.
Yeah.
So they got 3 yards. So, Bo had 75 yards on the day for 14 carries. Next was Isaiah West. And you're kind of just seeing where this is. Now, CJ Donaldson is kind of like your pass pro guy, right? He's your pass pro guy and your short yardage guy. And then you've seen Bo Jackson, Isaiah West. Isaiah had some, I'm trying to remember if it was Bo. I think there was a couple where I think it was Bo going to the right, got met in the hole, and he ended up getting a first down. Like that's
that was a 3rd and 2, got hit in the backfield and still was able to grind through. And like Ryan talks about that, like we'll block it for 3. Now maybe sometimes that doesn't happen, but as a running back at Ohio State, Helschleys, this is the home of Les Horvath and Hopalong Cassidy, Archie Griffin, Eddie George, Travion Henderson. We just watched out a $140 in the NFL yesterday. Like, Ezekiel Elliott, great Keith Byers,
Antonio Pittman,
firefighter, all the dudes, Maurice Claret, all the guys.
Yeah, all of them.
Bro, you should be able to go grind out and go get a couple yards that aren't blocked for you. And that was what was awesome to see Bo Jackson do. He got hit in the backfield. Hey, that sucks. Someone beat a block. They didn't get him. You know what your job is now? Find a way. Go find a way to pick it up. And he did. And that's how those coaches get confidence in you to be that guy moving forward.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Bob. And again, this all continues to set up the play action pass. And I'm fine. I'm good. The thing in the game, I believe Julian got sacked twice in that.
Okay. Do you want to go to the 1 sack? Talking about running backs.
Go ahead.
And Isaiah West, a freshman, coming off an injury last year. We've seen him slowly make his way in more and more and has been running the ball really well. So he does a great job of breaking tackles, great contact balance, pushing through, finding the seam. Maybe not the crazy top end speed, but he's a guy I think that you're going to want to use down the stretch and get more and more in there. However, he's doing some pass blocking. Purdue sent a linebacker. It wasn't his best rep ever. And that led to the one of the sacks on Julian Sayin.
Yep. And, guys, it takes everything, right? There was a great ball that Julian Sayin had that I believe Milan dropped going across the middle on a deep dig. All those things come into play, but you just continue to bounce back. The next play is the most important play, just like next week is the most important game. That's their mindset, and I thought that they handled everything the way that they needed to handle. There are areas that you need to clean up, but again, if we're playing, we want to continue week in and week out improving upon those things. There was a screen that was out there that we had a missed block on. That's been a couple of times. How do we secure that?
So that was that screen. So this is how important this stuff is, Schlegs.
Yep.
Miss it on the screen. You're down in the red zone. That probably scores.
Yep.
It's saying it's going to. Most likely does. Do you know what happened on the 3rd down on that drive?
Keep going. Refresh my memory.
That was the interception.
Okay, there you go.
So you have that touchdown, then Julian doesn't throw that interception. And so that's how those things can be building off of each other when you don't take advantage of a play, and ultimately it can compound and lead to a point where you don't get any points. Now, is that the guy's fault? You miss a block on a screen? Is your quarterback throwing a pick? No. But when you don't take advantage of those opportunities, that's where I think people get a little bit sideways with some of it. And so since we're there, like we talked about the Isaiah West, who's done a great job running the football, his pass blocking wasn't great on that play. And so if you want to be out there all the time and you want to be a dude that's getting 40% of the reps, then you've got to make sure that when they can't just put you in to run it. Like you're not that good. And the tendency will be crazy high. So you've got to be able to pass block. So that's something that him and Coach Lachlan, I guarantee you, he came over, Schlegs, Los, big guns, our guy, big guns, Carlos, just driving him up a little bit. Like we're going to talk about
I need more cookies.
And that's it, man. No salt.
I'm going to ask you this too, Bob. So we saw the Lincoln Keyholtz package, right, where you go in short yardage. Just so everybody knows, when they go into the game, I keep reiterating this. Ryan Day's, I think his mindset after last year's Michigan game was do what is required to win the game. I think that was the caveat that came out of that meeting, whatever that is, right? Just win. And you're seeing different personnel sets. You're seeing what we're doing with the passing game, what we're doing with the running game. Then you see this package too, which in and of itself is another thing because running the football. Now you have the quarterback run pass option. I want to get your thoughts, Bob, on good, bad, indifferent. What do you like about it, et cetera, moving forward?
About like the package where they put Lincoln in?
Yeah.
I think that there's a place for it. And they put him in there. They've had him run a couple of times. I think that that's probably maybe something that they may just have in the back pocket should they need it in another game. And Lincoln, obviously.
Why do they bring it out like in a game like this, Bob? Just tell people it's just kind of like Texas
put it on,
running
you put it on film.
punt.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you put it on film. And so now people look at this, and you watch the red zone stuff at Ohio State, and you've got 14 personnel, 4 tight ends on the field. You're handing the ball to Roberts. You're doing a lot of different stuff. You've got Lincoln coming in. And so they have a lot of things down there. And I think part of it is you don't want to view it that they're like experimenting with it. But I think in a game like that, like you said, Ryan knows that you're going to win the game, and especially when the game is you're controlling it. Let's try to develop some things. We've got some things we've been working on. Let's see if we can develop this. And this has been an area, that low red zone offensive area that Ryan has continued to work on. And it's been something that this year has not been as good as in years past. So I think that's why he's trying some of that. And Lincoln can obviously throw it out of there. So they're thinking, hey, can we pick up an extra hat by trying to run? Can we put that on film? That way teams won't be able to double JJ. And if we go in there and we do this, and maybe we'll just do a single read where, hey, we've got Lincoln in, playing such and such in the semifinal. And Lincoln, you go in there, they're going to load the box. If they load the box, you throw it to Julian. You throw it to JJ. If they don't load the box and they double him, then you run it. And like that's the RPO read essentially right there. And since he can throw it like that gives you that flexibility. And since they've seen it on tape now, Schlegs, that expands your ability to do that, and people now have to practice for it.
Yeah, and I would just say this too, right? So it's like, yeah, he needs to get better as pass pro 100%, but he's also a freshman. And it also goes back to why were we seeing this earlier? Like, that's where I always lean to the dudes that are at practice, right? You're seeing these live reps. It's not like they don't practice it. It's not like they don't go good on good versus the linebackers in pass pro. Bob, we did it, once a week in some type of individual combo setting where you're working on, 1v1 on a running back. Like they do that. So guess what? Just continue to get better. You got UCLA at night. You got Rutgers, and then you got the game, and then you got to run. Like that's really where it is. But focus on UCLA. And that's every week, man. They're just trying to get 1% of 1% better. And that when my takeaway from this is you've shown a lot of people a bunch of things on tape. You already know, they already know, the coaches know what they want to be about. Go out there and execute. Right now, to me, the fundamental thing when you're going into these next 2 games, it's all about the execution and the players setting themselves up for the game on the road.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. That we still haven't really gotten to like the receiver situation with Carnell Tate not playing.
Yeah.
Some of the offensive line rotations, and then Julian's interception on the goal line or in the red zone. Obviously not great. What do we learn from that? How can that be a positive moving forward? He's been great all year. Another 80% completion day, but just can you get that cleaned up? Is that something that could be happening again? A reoccurring problem? I don't think so. But we'll talk all through that and break all that down for you. I want to tell you about our friends over at Export Mouthguards. Protect what matters most. Trusted by professional athletes. Designed by NHL team dentists. Export Mouthguards are scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export Mouthguards, they feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber. They custom fit that thing to your own unique smile. It's 3D printed there with the technology into your grill for more protection, better performance, max comfort, and clear communication. That way you can focus on your game, not on your gear. You know what? If you don't have gloves at recess and you have to put your hands in your pockets, that way you can wear an Export mouth guard. If you fall down and slip, that way it won't bust your teeth up. Don't take the chances. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby today and save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. We're going to break down some of that offensive line and the receiver stuff coming up next. I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink garage beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage beer, beer-flavored beer. All right, welcome back in the Bobby Carpenter Show. And Schlegs, one of the things that they noticed probably, middle of the first quarter, got to hear it on the broadcast, Carnell Tate didn't play. And they said it wasn't a big deal. Back when we played, Schlegs, if a dude went to a game, dressed and wasn't on the field, probably the number one assumption that you would have is the guy got in, maybe failed a drug test, got in trouble, some disciplinary action, maybe got arrested on a Thursday night and no one knew about it yet.
Little bar.
But that wasn't the case. That's not the case with Carnell. He's a fine young man. Had a little injury stuff. Wasn't feeling like great, and they addressed that on the broadcast. But because of that, then you got to see a lot of other young guys get out there and play. And I think that that's a positive because at some point you may need to see different guys out there. So you got to see JJ go out there and have a day, over 100 yards receiving. He had his touchdown, 10 receptions. But you also got to see Bryson Rogers. We got to see more of Mylan Graham. Got to see Brandon Ennis maybe work a little bit over the middle. And I thought that was very productive. It's less than ideal, but you have no idea what's going to happen. And maybe you need one of those guys to be able to fill in here moving forward because you don't want JJ or Carnell taking every rep of every game anyway. It's a lot to ask of those guys. And we've heard about so much depth in this receiver room. And you and I watched these guys in camp. You saw how good they look at practice. Now getting a chance to get them out there on the field in a situation where, from my understanding of it, it wasn't like it was planned. I mean, Carnell, maybe had some tightness in warm-ups, and it's not battlefield promotion. Like, you haven't been playing to get all the reps all week. Carnell's been practicing for the most part and staying out there. So you haven't gotten like an elevated situation of reps where you feel better about it. And the fact that Bryson came in there and played pretty well, and Mylan Graham came in there and played pretty well, I felt pretty good about that.
I believe Quincy has some injury stuff right now too, so probably why you didn't see him. But what else did it do? It also showed that Max Clear got used, right? He had 5 receptions for almost 60 yards. And guys, if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people got the ball. 9 different people. That's what you want to do. So to me, it was next man up. And for a guy like Bryson, I've seen Bryson. Bryson goes extremely hard. I was excited that when he did get that opportunity, he made the most of it. And you got to have that type of depth. And it's also Purdue. It's also going to be UCLA. It's also going to be Rutgers, guys. So we go back, and in big moments, in big games, you got to have your alphas on the field. That's what they're setting up. And the abundance that is Ohio State is that you have a lot of depth, especially in that room, to be able to do all the things that you want to do, especially versus the Purdues, the UCLAs, and the Rutgers of the world.
All right, so offensive line wise, Schlegs.
Yep.
We've talked a little bit about that. Let's before we get to offensive line, Julian, I'll say he threw his worst pass probably as a Buckeye down in the red zone, and it's okay. They're on the broadcast, they're trying to figure out, well, who was he throwing it to? Like, how was he trying to get it in?
They were wearing those black uniforms. He was that I think it was a lineman, was like literally in the black of the Purdue symbol. Maybe he got lost.
Just didn't see him. It's possible. A lot of different things can happen, but he's drifting right, throws back across his body, throws late. And here's the thing: like, if you're going to make that mistake, I'd much rather you made it in that game at that point in time. And with that now, it's a teachable moment with Ryan Day and Brian Hartline and Billy Fessler. They're going to sit you down, and you're going to look through it, and you're going to figure it out. And it's like, hey, no matter how appetizing or appealing that looks, it's not good. Do not dive on into that. Just stay away from the late throws, late in the down. Obviously, as you're drifting to the side, and especially in the red zone, we cannot be turning it down there because Schlegs, essentially what you're doing is you're taking points off the board.
Yep. You are 100%, Bob. I think maybe another pick was the Grambling game in the corner where he hesitated. Yeah. He had a back shoulder on the guy and threw it to him. But that's it. And, but you go back and there is I mean, let's see what he was. What was he? I'm going back to him. He was 27 of 33. I think it was 82%, 303, touchdown, and a pick. So solid day. More importantly,
Still the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman.
Yeah, but I mean, it was, man, it is so amazing. There's a great one. I don't even know if we want to show it, but it was kind of like somebody equated him to a check down merchant and all these different things. Guys, the dude's leading the FBS in balls over 40 yards. I mean, I'm watching it back with my son earlier in the game, and the ball that he put to Jeremiah Smith when he had three dudes running with him, right? It was spot on. And that was the thing even last year that we were looking at for Will Howard, right? It was like he got developed at Ohio State and he got better at the deep ball as the season progressed. Julian has just been really good at the deep ball the entire time. He's over 80% completion for the entire season. The dude is highly accurate, doesn't take a lot of sacks, doesn't put the ball in harm's way. I think he's 24 touchdowns with 4 interceptions, still a game behind Mendoza as far as games played. He's doing everything that he needs to do. And you know what the best part of the thing? I've watched like the huddle command. The dude looks like he's in total control of the huddle.
I think he's finding his voice. Like it feels like he's finding his voice as a leader now.
Yes.
As a redshirt freshman coming in and being the guy taking over when you have a bunch of veteran guys and some alphas on the outside, it can be tough. And it seems now like after 10 games, the last couple, we've watched him scramble. We've watched him buy time. We've seen a more confident guy, and you can start to see that with how he's operating in the huddle. And it seems just watching him, how he interacts with his teammates at practice, after, and then in the games, it seems now like he is comfortable in his shoes to be able to be that assertive guy and be that leader, because it does take some time to develop that.
Yeah, it does. And I just I'm going to save this question for the chat because it's a good one. I'm putting it in my thing. But I would just say this, Bob, the thing that you just mentioned about his voice, and I'm talking about a deeper run, and I'm talking about the confidence in the guys. Like, the thing is, you go throw the pick, you shouldn't have thrown the pick. What does he do? Does he come up into the next drive? And let me see what he did. Going back. Boom. Where's my INT? Goal line. Boom. Punt. Oh, yeah. OSU field goal. 6-minute drive, 11. Punt, then another touchdown. Right? You're doing what you got to do. And that's what you want. Like, you're the same every single time, regardless of you make a mistake or you don't. Didn't cost them. But that's also what it is. What did the defense do, Bob? They went right out there and they punted. Like, that's your job, defense.
Yeah. They forced it. All right. So we're going to touch on, let's take a break. We're going to get into our headlines. I know we normally get into a bunch of different stuff in the players of the game. We can pop that up. I do want to get into this offensive line situation, Schlegs. Maybe we'll do the players of the game. We can save some of the O-line for tomorrow as well, just because, I don't know if you noticed all the juggling that went on. You saw Ian Moore out there a lot. Obviously,
Ian started at right tackle.
Yes, he started for Phillip Daniels at right tackle.
Thought he did a nice job.
I thought he did a good job too. I believe you had Gabe Van Sickle, who was out there a lot at right guard. You saw that. Now, we know that Tegra has been rolling with Padilla some, and Padilla was inactive for that game. He wasn't available, so there's some of that on the right side. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about how those guys played, how that maybe impacts it. And we'll talk about the players of the game and everything else too. So get that ready to go, Pat. We'll have that frothed up and ready to fire when we return. But first, a message from our friends over at bckr.com. Schlegs has their sweet hat on right now.
Dude, look at this. I did. I got it. I got my stuff.
Yeah, my wife was wearing the rain gear. You got the cold gear, the wind gear. They've got it all for you. They look great. It feels great. They have great functionality, everything you want there. Right now, it's free shipping on your purchases. And if you use promo code all caps BOBBY at checkout, you get free expedited shipping. That's backer, bckr.com. Go check them out, bckr.com. Got everything that you need to look good for Buckeye gear or maybe some of your other college teams as well. All right, coming up, we got our headlines. So stay locked in here on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back in to the Bobby Carpenter Show, and we've got our headlines here, Slags, all the top stories, everything coming around here. Let's dive in a little bit to our players of the game as Pat. We can get those posted. Let's go offense, defense, special teams, or whatever order you want to take them down in. You can throw those guys up. Slags, kind of what were your thoughts on the players of the game?
Well, who are they, Bob? I didn't even see them.
Well, they're always in Ohio State's deal. Let me pull it up. I thought you had them ready to go and ready to rock, Schlags.
No,
Unfortunately,
I put everything in the group chat on the Doomajig.
yeah.
I didn't have any of those. I never saw them.
Oh gosh, where are we at here? We got so much NFL stuff. Here we go. Offensive player of the game, 10 catches, 100 and whatever yards, and a touchdown. Number 4, Jeremiah Smith. All right. So there you go. Offensive player of the game, Schlags. Do you think that was warranted? Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
Hey, here's the thing, man. Like the best, the deep ball and what he can do. We kind of saw that, like Trey. It was amazing. Trey, 22 miles an hour in full pads, but like that deep ball, Jeremiah, like that's a go ball, right? Boom, you're going. Nobody can catch him. You take one false step, he's gone. It was the play that they were going to the left side that he adjusted and made that catch at the 1 yard line. That was fantastic. One, great ball placement to where he's the only guy that can get it. Two, body control, strong hands. That's just what he does. I mean, even was this the game? Yeah, this was the game that they tackled him. That slant probably would have been a touchdown that he got tackled on and still made the catch. Was it not at the beginning of the like? And the guy, here's what's crazy. The side judge went incomplete.
Yeah, the side judge didn't throw a flag. I'm like, dude got tackled. He was on his knees.
He got tackled, and he gave him the incomplete, and he tripped, still made the catch, total catch, right? Yeah. And then somebody else threw the flag in. I'm like, what was that? That guy was right there. What were you watching? Anyways, he catches that slant. That's a touchdown, right? So, again, he's one of those guys. Carnell's in that same boat. You get them in space on lesser athletes, they can do damage. And that's what he's doing. I mean, it was his day to go out there and do what he does.
Yeah, he looked really good. And obviously, like if that play happens in a bigger game, Schlags, like if that's in the Big Ten championship or in one of the playoff games, I mean that's like the Sports Center top 10. Everybody's talking about that play. Since it was against Purdue, I don't know if anybody was caring to watch it, and it wasn't that big of a deal, and they just took the penalty anyway because it gave them the automatic first down. But that was an unbelievable play by Jeremiah Smith, an unbelievable day by him. And it was interesting talking to some of the people at the facility. Like if he ever has struggles or makes like a poor play early in the game, they're like, watch out because he's on fire the rest of the game. And obviously the penalty on the touchdown that got it called back for the block in the back against Bo Jackson wasn't his finest moment. But he turned it way up after that. All right, defensive player of the game, Schlags. We're going up front.
Yep.
Going inside.
K-Mac,
dude. 4 tackles in there and a TFL. This TFL, man, he was just dominating dudes inside. Like he is the guy that stirs that drink in the defense because he's so good at the point of attack, and they slide him over the center, man. And he is something else. So trying to block up front.
Dude, there was a dude from I was watching the New England Tampa Bay game. I think it was 92 from Tampa Bay. He looks a lot like a little bit bigger K-Mac when he becomes like a fully grown adult in the league and just is out there just having a real deal with McDonald's or Burger King or something. But K-Mac has been fantastic this year, guys. And for the depth and the way that Matt Patricia has worked the defensive line, he's done everything that you want. When you have a guy that can single-handedly shock and shed and make plays inside the box, like he's just been very consistent, which I'm really happy to see.
And then finally, the final player of the game, special teams player of the game, led the team in tackles, 7 total, 5 solos. Number 26, the third linebacker in that room, got a lot of run with Arvell being out, Mr. Peyton Pierce. And Peyton's done a great job. Made a great play on a punt tackle, I want to say. It did the
he had a kickoff tackle going down on our right side.
It was kickoff where he did this, ended up doing the splits at the end, slid out. Just great to see Peyton getting that done as well and him making some plays on special teams and then playing really well on defense, I might add too. All right,
Yep.
so go ahead. You got something else? You good?
No, hey, Jets fire Dayball, by the way. That was hot news out of our group
Right,
chat.
you mean the Giants?
The Giants. Yeah, sorry. But that being said, here's what you want. Sonny played some. Arvell got guys in, but you want to see the other guys stepping up and making plays. And again, of all those three, the one that we already know what Jeremiah, but the piece of K-Mac doing what he does defensively week in and week out, really good to see.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and answer your questions in Tailgate Talk. So fire away here on the Bobby Carpenter Show. Welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show, Schlags. And let's throw this one up here. Who's this by? Liana, what's that?
Leanne Rhymes.
Leonella, 42 or 14. Say tempo plus running the ball, missing from the offense equals easier to defend. Saying running the ball, that is. So here's the one thing, like, they can go tempo. I mean, Ryan's talked about it. When it's time to put the gas down, he said they'll put the gas down. They haven't really needed to put the gas down at this point, so they don't need that. And Julian has run it some, just not a lot. So they're going to be very selective, I think. And when they choose to run him, he obviously isn't Will Howard and near his frame.
Justin Fields, Jake Barrett.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's more of a situation like C.J. Stroud, where CJ ran it in the playoff. He ran it in big moments. And I think you're going to see Julian continue to do that. We've watched him pull it down and scramble it some, and he's looked good. We've watched him scramble in the pocket to buy time to make big plays down the field. So I think you're going to see more of it. I wouldn't be overly concerned about that. And the tempo, it'll be there. Ohio State plays slower than anyone else in the country, and there is a reason behind it.
Hey, I'm just going to say this real fast, Bob. There was a great thing. Tony put this out there on the X. But over the last decade, Will Howard, Kyle McClure, C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields, Dwayne Haskins, J.T. Barrett combined started 117 games in those. They completed 80% of their passes and threw for 300 yards 14 times. Sayan has done it 5 times in 9 games. Here's the thing, and I understand what that is. But, like, keep the main thing the main thing. If that's your main thing, then continue to do it. I think so many times people want to say, oh, we got to go do this and go do that. It's like, this is what the guy does. And his number one thing, we saw it, I think it was the last game, where he scrambled and got a big-time first down on 3rd and long. Like, that's what you want to see. Do you just move the chains? In the college game, I understand running the ball, we talk gap versus zone. They're going to figure all that out. I trust our coaches. But, like, no, we're controlling the tempo through our pace of play, which helps our defense because they're really freaking good. They're arrested, but we can do it in a multitude of ways, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do. So why have to put him in harm's way when his game is really doing what I just articulated?
All right, this one's coming in from Eddie. In your opinion, why is the national media seem to be pushing Mendoza over Sayan? I don't think that's the case. Now, this last weekend may have been more reflective of that. Julian was 27 of 33 for 300 yards, basically, and a touchdown and a pick, like in a game that you were in control of that wasn't exciting, and you're playing Purdue. You look at Mendoza, you're playing Penn State, who, listen, I understand Penn State's not as good this year. They're still pretty talented. It was at Penn State, but they had a full 110,000 people there. It was a game that came down to the final wire. So I think they were all over Mendoza because it was a great game. It was something that was fun to watch. And there was a lot of love for him and the play that he was putting on there. And listen, here's what it's going to come down to. Schlags, I'll tell you this right now.
Tell me right now.
If you look at the odds on the Heisman Trophy, it's Julian and Mendoza are at the top. And Julian's number 1. If both of them went out, and assuming that their play is holding up to what it's been, whoever plays best and wins the Big Ten championship is going to win the Heisman Trophy. Like, that's what's going to happen. And because they're due the day after, that'll be the lasting image that everybody will have. And assuming Indiana doesn't fall, and maybe they slip to 3, but it's either going to be a 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3 if everybody holds up. and everybody's got to do their part and win. Indiana's got 2 left. I think Ohio State's got 3. And obviously the Michigan game is going to be a huge part of that for Julian because everybody's going to be watching. It'll be all eyes on Ohio State and Michigan come noon kick on Saturday after Thanksgiving. Like everybody's going to be there and locked in on it. So yes, that'll be it. So we can talk about this a lot. Everybody I've talked to and people that they've been saying Julian's the guy. Like it's kind of boring watching this because they just operate at such a high level.
Yeah, to me, it all goes down to think of Troy's year, right? It was the game, 42-39, what he did. And it will be the game on the road in the big house and then conference championship head-to-head potentially. That's what it's going to boil down to. Who makes those plays in those moments will get it.
Absolutely. I like where your head's at, Schlegs. All right, coming up, we will wrap up the show with Schlegs' parting thoughts and his side nuggets coming up next. I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show for the final segment of the program. Schlegs, take it away.
Hey, throw up that one real fast about Iowa. I'm doing both. Throw up Iowa. So, hey, this is the pink locker room. And why is this? Prison cells are sometimes painted pink, shade known as Baker Miller, to calm aggressive inmates. That's what Iowa wanted to do. That was the theory. But look at that. I wish they had a picture of the stalls with no doors so you can literally crap and touch the guy that's right next to you. Super awesome. Go to the next side. Now, I just want everybody to see the locker room. That is Iowa, Oregon. Good job. And then RJ Day throwing for 482 school record in the OHSAA. That's Jace Middleton's brother right there, Jax, Bobby, catching that touchdown. He had himself a day. It's awesome because he's up here talking to Jay, doing recovery on Wednesday nights. And it's just one of those things. And then I think he actually took an official visit to Purdue at the game for Purdue. So good for him, man. That's what it is, especially when you're a coach and you got kids that are playing the sport that you coach. So,
absolutely. And as of note, they did win that game, Schlegs. They were moving on to the next.
It was in the
round.
fog.
Yeah, in the fog. It was a little wild there. So nice little game and great job by RJ Day. All right, that's it for today's show. We appreciate you tuning in. Stay locked in tomorrow. We got Bill Bender for you here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.